Salute everybody, it's your boy Wise Citizens with Wise Citizen Sports. Back here with another video for Salt Sports. As you know, I'm a member of the Roundtable, and I want to salute to everybody on the Roundtable. Salute to Salt Sports for allowing me to come on here and make another video. Make sure y'all hit that like button, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button, and let's do this Houston Texans version 2 mock draft. We're going to stick to the script. We're not going to do any trades. We're going to keep it pretty much straightforward. We're going to keep it pretty much straightforward, like I said, and we're going to try to address the needs for this Houston Texans team. As we've seen, the Houston Texans lost to the New York Football Giants, making them hold the #1 pick in the NFL draft for 2023 draft, and also the Cleveland Browns lost to the Miami Dolphins, which means that the Houston Texans currently hold the #9 pick in the draft. So we got two top picks in the draft. Hopefully the board falls the way that we need it to fall. We need to address the interior D line. As you can see, the Houston Texans gave up a lot of yards to Saquon Barkley this past game. And when you currently look at the total stats of rushing yards allowed per game, we're giving up 181 yards per game. And that's worse in the league by 20 yards. So we got to address the linebackers positions. We got to address the interior D line. We got to get some dogs in this front seven because the secondary has been looking good. And then we also need to address this quarterback position because Davis Mills has not been up to par this season. When you look at Davis Mills, he's not a franchise guy. He's not a guy that's going to be able to take your team to the next level and win a Super Bowl. He could be a great backup quarterback in his future, but I don't see him being a starter anywhere else in his career. The guy leads the league in four-quarter interceptions and is second in total interceptions in the league as well. So let's go ahead and get started in this draft. Like I said, no trades, pretty much straightforward. 7 rounds. Let's see what surprises they're going to give us today. And shout out to NFL Mock Draft Database Simulator as well. So we're going to go ahead and enter the draft room. We're going to go ahead and start the draft. And with the #1 pick in the NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Bryce Young. And the reason why I go Bryce Young right there is real important. Is because Bryce Young can make plays with his feet. He has the it factor. He can throw on the run. He doesn't let anything faze him. He's poised. He's a leader of men. He's shown that he can keep his team in those late games. He's shown that he can bring his team back in critical situations. Yeah, they lost 2 games this year for Alabama. Yeah, that's an anomaly, and that doesn't happen too much. And he did have a shoulder injury earlier this season, but we've seen that he was able to bounce back. And right now, he's still up there for top of the nation when it comes to passing stats in the league. So I really would consider that guy bringing in Bryce Young with the #1 pick. He's a franchise changer. And if I was the Houston Texans, I would call up Buffalo and go ahead and offer a job to Ken Dorsey as our head coach to bring in with Bryce Young, an offensive-minded head coach with a young quarterback. We've seen the Dolphins and did it. We didn't see the 49ers then did it. We didn't seen the Cardinals then did it. We didn't seen the Bengals did it with Joey Burrow. We didn't seen we didn't seen it too many times. Josh Allen. I mean, you bring in these guys, and Ken Dorsey. The thing about him is he was a quarterback coach for Cam Newton from 2013 to 2017, and that's some of the best years that Cam Newton has had. He was also the quarterback coach for the Buffalo Bills in 2019, and then 2020 he was the quarterback coach. In 2021, I believe he was the passing game coordinator and the offensive coordinator he became this season. So this guy has shown he can do a lot of things with mobile quarterbacks. He can do a lot of things with some guys drafted #1 or early in the draft. And he's going to show these guys how to be a pro. I mean, this guy was a pro himself. He was a champion with the Miami Hurricanes 2001, 2002 team. So he played with Andre Johnson back in the gap. He played with one of the best college football teams in the history of college football, and he led them to a national champions. And I think if you could bring in he did play in the pro as a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers and I believe the Cleveland Browns, but he was a perennial backup at that point. But still, that's a guy that the Houston Texans should consider bringing in because Lovie Smith is really not doing anything with this Houston Texans team, and we're going to be the worst team in the NFL 2 consecutive years, which is very terrible after he wrote that letter. So let's get into this next pick and let's see how the board is fall. Uh, whenever this thing want to give me a second, I'm sorry, y'all. Be patient with me. I don't know why it's loading. We should be running smooth. Okay, we're gonna reject this pick. It's because they trying to offer stupid picks. We don't want that Seattle. We don't want that Seattle. Like, come on. Oh, my boy Willie Anderson is dead, number 9. It ain't even a doubt about it. It ain't even a doubt about it. We already know Willie Anderson, to be honest, if it ain't for Bryce Young, he is also the best player in this draft. Willie Anderson had 17 and a half sacks last year. He's following it up with 8 sacks this year after being double teamed. He's Alabama's leader on the defense. He's the vocal leader too. This guy get irritated by losing. Yeah, we need a dog like that that's going to come in here and set the edge, who's going to be able to come off the edge and get sacks and make an impact for the Houston Texans defense. And Willie Anderson would be a steal at that number 9 pick. So let's get into the next pick, pick 32. Let's see who left on the board. It looked like I can see a Notre Dame. These trade offers is getting on my nerves right now because it got us running a little slow today. Come on, get off my screen. We don't want the trades. We said no trades. We over here doing Oh, it's Michael Mayer. You know I took Michael Mayer early last draft in the first mock draft. To get him at this position would be a steal. Also, to get Antonio Johnson would be a steal. Or we can backdoor with Ikas and go ahead and shore up that interior D line. You got Felix Uzoma, the other edge that's real dominant, but we already got Willie Anderson, which is an edge, so really don't need to address that right now. Or Noah Sewell. See, this is where it gets tough when you don't have a trade. And I do like Darnell Washington at tight end. I do like Dalton Kincaid at tight end. I do like Cade Stover at tight end, and I like Sam Laporta. So, this is a tough one, but and honestly, I'm thinking I'm gonna go Ika. Let's go ahead and show up that run game. Let's get that stop because, like I said, we're giving up 180 yards on the defensive side of the ball, and that is unacceptable. It's probably one of the worst in NFL history, to be honest. Okay, now we're at pick number 64. And this is where things get real interesting because you got John Michael Schmitz there, who's a center. You know we need a center on this offensive line. Quisenberry hasn't been able to hold up at the offensive center position after we lost Justin Britt. Zach Harrison would be a absolute steal at this spot. And we're talking about Zach Harrison on one end, and you got Willie Anderson on the other end. Then you got Jonathan Grenard in the rotation. Man, that can be a real scary front looking into the Houston Texans' future. So, and then you got Dalton Kincaid there at the tight end. And I really like Dalton Kincaid. So I'm choosing out of those 3 players. It's kind of tough for me right now because, I mean, technically Zach Harrison is a steal, but we already addressed the defensive side back to back. We do need to get that center position taken care of because Bryce Young is going to need protection. He is a smaller guy, and we don't want to get him hurt. So let's go ahead and take care of the center position and get John Michael Schmitz. Oh, but we back to back. But we back to back. We picked 70. I didn't even see that. I didn't even realize that. So, I mean, now it's getting interesting because, I mean, we really could backdoor Zach Harrison or we really could go Dalton Kincaid here. I mean, but that defense is a problem. Zach Harrison right here would be a steal at pick 70. We're going Zach Harrison. Like I said, I do like a Dalton Kincaid, but it's more tight ends that I like later in the draft that we could probably grab at that 102 pick or 137. So let's go ahead and take Zach Harrison here. Whoa, this is a phenomenal draft. This is going exactly how I wanted to go. Storm Duck just went off the board, cornerback out of North Carolina. Okay. Oh, Jerry Patterson. Oh, we can address that O line. We could definitely shore up that O line. That whole right side of the O line would be showing up. That offensive center and that offensive guard would be showing up with those 2 picks. Or we can backdoor with Thule. We really don't need Thule right now. A.T. Perry is a great receiver. We can go get another target for Bryce Young. But, I mean, let's stay at the top of the board. We don't need a reach here. Let's go ahead and get Jared Patterson. Let's show up that offensive line. Let's go ahead and show up that offensive line. And Cedric Tillman is a good receiver, too. I mean, Cedric Tillman is a good receiver, but that offensive line comes first, and we need to get it addressed. We need to protect Bryce Young, our new franchise quarterback. And plus, we got pick 137. Oh, Laporta just went off the board. Oh, Skinner's still on the board. Oh, Skinner and Corum is on the board. Those are two of my one of my favorite players in this draft. Wow, this is real interesting. This is really interesting. Okay, Skinner, you could put Skinner on the other side of Jalen Petrie, and that can be a scary duo. Corum, you can go ahead and add him with Dameon Pierce, and your running back position is set for a while. But we just went offense. I mean, JL Skinner would be phenomenal to add alongside with with Jalen Petrie. I mean, Jonathan Owens hasn't looked too bad, but Blake Corum too. This guy's a monster. This guy got tree trunk legs. He only 5'8", but he'll be a perfect complement back to Dameon Pierce. So I don't know how you pass that up as well. You'll have a strong run game. You have a strong offensive line. The only thing is we're missing that number one target at receiver. And with Brandon Cooks getting ready to be traded, maybe we can address that via trade, free agency. We'll see on that. But right now, it's going to be hard. I don't know if I should go with Skinner. I don't know if I can go with Corum. But my intuition is telling me to go with Skinner. I got to go with JL Skinner. I had to. When I'm telling you we need to add some dogs on this defense, we need to add some dogs on this defense. And you telling me we adding Willie Anderson's with JL Skinner's and Ika and Zach Harrison, we're already going on the right direction. So we need to look at this tight end position because we haven't looked at this tight end position. Oh, my boy there. I was just telling y'all about him. Cade Stover. We're going to take him at this pick right here. It's not even a second thought. Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job with CJ Stroud this year. He's a big tight end. He can block. He can get wide open in the end zone. So that's a great position to go grab another tight end in the draft at pick 178. Let's see who's left on the board. Raheem Jarrett might be still here at the wide receiver position. We haven't really looked at linebacker, inside linebacker at least. Let's see who's on the board. Justin Flo. What pick we got? We got 196 left. We got 203, 218, 239. We can go wide receiver. Oh, Jake Bobo is nice too. Jonathan Mingo from Ole Miss. Hey, if we can get him right here, we can wait to get him. But Jonathan Mingo is nice, and we can get Tank Dell, so I'm not worried about the receiving position. Let's go ahead and get a linebacker, and let's go ahead and get Justin Flo from Oregon. So we addressed that linebacking positions. Let's take a look at corner. Let's take a look at corner. Let's take a look at corner. Let's see who's on there. Nobody really want right now. Let's receiver. We already said. We got some guys that we like at receiver. Let's look at D line. It's Alligator still. Gabe Hall is there from Baylor. DJ Dell from Alabama. You can get him later with that type of grade. We didn't go running back. Let's look at running back. Ibrahim from Minnesota wouldn't be bad. Mayan Williams from Ohio State is nice, but he has dealt with a lot of injuries. Kendre Miller. Kendre Miller is a nice back from TCU as well. This one is hard, to be honest. Just looking at the overall board, I might go with Raheem Jarrett here. Yeah, because it's kind of still to get him right there. Go ahead and get Raheem Jarrett. We doing way better on the draft grades on this draft. And I really do like Jonathan Mingo. Why not? I'm going to get Jonathan Mingo from Ole Miss. He was making a lot of plays against Alabama in that Ole Miss Alabama game. And this is our last pick. I think I want to go my boy Nathaniel Dell. He was likely to go undrafted, so we probably can get him in an undrafted free agency. Uh, Corner. Do they got my boy Gilmore there? No. D line. DJ Dell. Let's go ahead and get DJ Dell from Alabama. Add to the inter D line run stuffer for Alabama. He does have a good impact. So let's take a look at the overall draft. I feel good about this draft. I feel like we addressed a lot of positions of need. Uh, it ain't every mock draft won't be perfect. Nobody's ever hit a right mock draft on CBS, ESPN, NFL Network, or nothing like that. Please tell me if they did. But nobody's perfect, so that's why I like to do these videos. I want to see what y'all thoughts, see where I could address the team needs better. Tell me if you prefer the player that I drafted, and who would you have selected instead of who I selected and stuff like that. So go ahead and put that in the comments. But taking a look at the overall selections, with the number 1 pick, we got Bryce Young, franchise quarterback. Number 9 pick, Willie Anderson's franchise pass rusher. Number 32 pick, we took Ika at D tackle, run stuffer. At pick 64, we took John Michael Schmitz, center from Minnesota. We addressed the center position. Pick 70, we got Zach Harrison, another edge defender that can put his hand in the dirt and add on to that pass rush and set that edge for the run game as well. So Zach Harrison, that was a steal at pick 70. Then we backdoor and we got Jared Patterson out of Notre Dame. He can easily fill in at that right guard position. And now we're talking about we got Tunsil, we got Kenyon Green, we got Schmitz locked up at center, we got Patterson locked up at guard, and we got Titus Howard. We got a good old line. We're gonna have the protection for Bryce Young, and we're gonna be good there. And when we're looking at that front seven right now with Zach Harrison, with Willie Anderson and Ika just to start, man, that's already a big change, and that should already take off a good 30 yards from that 180 yards that we're giving up. So instead of giving up 180, we should at least be giving up 150. I know it's not going to be a big difference from year one, but we would be going in the right direction. Then we backdoored and got J.L. Skinner. J.L. Skinner is a box safety. He's good in the run game, 6'4", very rangy, very athletic. Put him alongside with a Jalen Petrie, and that's going to be a scary safety duo. Then we got Cade Stover, tight end, big physical guy that can block, that can get wide open and make plays in the red zone. Then we got Justin Floyd, linebacker. You throw him in there with a Wallows, you throw him in there with a Cashman, you throw him in there with a Christian Harris. We can see what he's going to do. Yeah, we could have did a better job at addressing the linebacker position in this draft, but of course, you could have seen the picks that we had before this, so it's very hard to address the linebacking position. We can get the linebacking position the next year or in free agency. Pick 203, we got Raheem Jarrett, wide receiver from Maryland. Pick 218, we got Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver from Ole Miss. These two guys can make plays. These two guys are the focal receivers for their team's number 1 receivers. And if they fell this late in the draft, they could be absolute steals. So we do need to have depth at the wide receiver position. We've seen a good increase from Nico. Nico just needs a good quarterback, and this guy could be a star receiver as well. So, and then with the last pick in the draft, we got DJ Dell. And to get DJ Dell with the last pick, like I said, another interior D-line guy to go ahead and hit that run game. So tell me what y'all thought about this draft. I feel like I did a way better job. You seen the grades on there. It was a lot of A's, a lot of A pluses, a lot of B pluses. Not an F this time, not a C or D. So we did a lot better. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, this is only the second version of the mock draft. We're going to be doing another one probably next Tuesday, next Wednesday. And make sure that you tune in, as this will be a weekly series. Thank you, and I'm out.